And you'll notice that a lot of the things in Act 3 there are a little bit different compared to Acts 1 and 2. There was the HUD at the end of the level was a little bit different. The title card was a little bit different. That's because that's just the way that ClickTeam Fusion works. Every single screen you see in ClickTeam Fusion is kind of like its own self-contained piece of code, like its own individual game that requires separate code. So Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3 are more like 3 different games, and they don't share code in between them. So if I change something in Act 3, I have to copy and paste all those changes into Act 2 and Act 1 separately. So what it turned out is that Act 3 is the one that I worked on the most. It's the most polished, and it's the one that has, all the latest stuff in it. I'd have to go back and port all of Act 3 changes to Act 2 and Act 1, and I just never got around to doing that. So let's play now as Tails. I guess we'll play in Sonic 2 mode, just to demonstrate that, though. Did we end up? Yeah, we ended up getting some elemental shields. I'll show you how that works. Oh wait, oh geez. I didn't actually realize that. Because we're playing in Sonic 2 mode, Tails can't fly, because in Sonic 2, Tails couldn't fly. There's actually an Easter egg with Tails being able to fly that we're not going to be able to see because, there's just no way to get to it. I think Knuckles can get to that Easter egg too, so we'll see what happens when we get there. I don't remember if I went to the upper or the lower path of Sonic now. I think I went to the upper path, so let's go to the lower path. As you know, in classic Sonic... no wait, I think I did both, didn't I? Because I remember showing those spikes off. Yeah, and I showed the spin tunnel and everything, so we'll go back and we'll take the upper path. As you know, with classic Sonic, there is usually an upper and a lower path, and the upper path is usually for speedrunners that like to go fast, but it's usually really difficult to stay on the upper path. The lower path is usually slower and full of more platforming. That was always just a regular shield. And there's not much here in the upper path. There's just a bunch of platforms to jump around on, and I like, looking back retrospectively, I never really liked the level designs in Act 1 and 2. I felt kind of like I really hit my stride in Act 3. That's where everything started to really come together, and that's unfortunately also where I stopped designing this game. I never moved on to any other levels other than what you see here. And that's also because, I just also ran out of time to work on these kind of games. It's probably no secret that you can't really make money from fan games. So, I'm supposed to be an adult, technically speaking. And I feel like there's so much more potential for me to make original games, even though I love so much making dumb fan games like this. If I could just sit around all day for the rest of my life and just make projects like this, I would. But there's no way to justify that. I can't live on fan games, unfortunately. And that's just the long and short of it. That's the truth. If I could wake up tomorrow and have, $2,000, $3,000 on my Patreon, that would be a different story. Then I could just kind of do whatever I'd want to do, but that's not going to happen. That's never going to happen. So, that's life, I guess. It's probably what some people would call growing up. And I really don't want to grow up. But it's not really my choice after a certain point. It's either live in the gutter and make fan games, or, not do that. Do the opposite of that. And I don't need to repeat myself any further than that. You'll notice that path we just took in Act 2, it was another S-curve and another ramp. That's very intentional again. That is a test to make sure that you know that if you go down an S-curve like that, not only do you build up more speed in rolling form, but you also can use upslopes as ramps. And now down here was a elemental shield, and you'll notice it is now a blue shield. I didn't really talk about too much how this level was like influenced by Sonic 3. If you never noticed in Sonic 3, most of the levels have water in them. Angel Island has water, Hydro City obviously has water, Carnival Night has water, Ice Cap has water, Launch Base has water. So in this third act here, we have a little underwater section. You know, it's not an underwater level, but it is an underwater section. And again, that's very intentional. That's a reference to Sonic the Hedgehog 3. As we come down here, there are more references to Sonic the Hedgehog 3, specifically Angel Island Zone. This part right here with the breakable block, there is a section like that almost identical in Angel Island Zone. Whoops, crap. So I guess we'll just stand here and wait for the platform. And if you'll notice, a lot of the visual effects are better here in Act 3 too, because again, I needed to port those to Act 1 and 2, and I think the general idea I had was that I just outright remake Act 1 and 2. The entire idea with Act 2 is that I wanted like a better transition from the sort of Green Hill Zone style environment in Act 1 to the sort of more dense, jungly forest section here in Act 3. And Act 2 was supposed to be a transition between those two states, and it wasn't. And it really needed to be. So we're coming up on the end of the level here. And that's it. That's the end of the level for Tails. Something else here in Act 3 you'll notice. Characters have character-specific Act Clear music. For Sonic 1, or for Sonic the Hedgehog, it was the Sonic 1 Act Clear music. For Tails, it's the Sonic 3 Act Clear music. And then as we'll see right now, Knuckles has his own specific Act Clear music. This time around, we'll do Sonic 3 mode, and I'll show you how blue shields get converted into elemental shields. I think I mentioned it before, but Knuckles wasn't really coded in the version of Sonic Worlds I started. I had to look up how to do his animation when he turns, when he glides. That's actually really tricky if you didn't know. It's not just something that like you can replicate, you can play by ear, I guess is what you'd say. It's like a very specific algorithm for how Knuckles turns when he glides. And that's just something I had to look up on the retro physics guide. The same thing goes for climbing on objects. Knuckles climbs on things a very specific way, and that was something I had to look up, and I think no, I didn't. I thought I screwed myself over by coming down here, but I forgot that you could double back like this, because there is a blue shield up here that we need. And like things like this, like being able to climb up, and the animation Knuckles will play when he gets up to a lip. That's something I had to look up too. Because there is a very specific way the camera moves in that instance, and if you don't get it right, then it doesn't feel right. Oh, now it's a water shield. This was a blue shield, and that will always be a water shield. It's not randomly chosen, and I'm actually really proud of the system I made to do that, because it's pretty impressive when you think about it. I think it's impressive, and that's what really matters. And yes, that Knuckles glide bug you saw right there, that's still replicated, because again, I just copied the Sonic Retro Physics guide. Whoops, well, we're gonna have to restart the level, folks. Because we triggered a special stage, and I was an idiot when I did that. Watch, it'll fade to white, and then it'll just sit there. because there's no special stage to go to. So let's restart the game. Actually, I should say that for this specific video that I'm doing here, I'm going to be releasing a new version of this Sonic Forever demo. The truth of the matter is, I recorded an entire video last night of me playing through Sonic Forever, and there were things about it that were broken that I forgot were broken. So I spent most of last night going through and actually fixing a lot of bugs, but apparently I didn't fix this music bug because there's supposed to be title screen music right now. There's no music. Why isn't there any music? Why can't I select this file? So yeah, also, you don't want the Sonic Forever code because things like this can happen. You can hear me pushing the button. Nothing's happening. We just have to start a new file. But that's fine, it doesn't actually save anything. That's just there for show, because I wrote that file selection menu like 6 years ago, and I thought, you know, it was pretty cool, so we're gonna have to play through all of this again. I should have done Super Knuckles, so that, just to make this a little bit different, but I didn't. But I guess I'll try and speedrun this level as quickly as possible. Which is basically Knuckles can glide over everything. This was something I think people complained about in Sonic 2 and Knuckles, is that, you know, Knuckles can just climb, he can glide. Oh, there's another bug for you. That's not getting fixed. You're not supposed to be able to smash those blocks unless you're actually physically touching them. I guess I'll never jump over the end post ever again. I guess I'm starting to run out of things to say here about Sonic Forever. Oh, there is the Easter egg in this level we need to find. It is on the upper path. It's only reachable by Tails and Knuckles. Hopefully Knuckles can reach it. I might have actually put like barriers around it to block Knuckles from getting up there. It might be a Tails only secret. I guess we'll find out. Oh, turn around. I think I just missed it. Wait, can I? No, I think I do. I think I do need Tails. Knuckles can't climb on those because it would be weird. Like there's weird collision stuff because you can jump through them, and I didn't want it to where you could climb through a platform you can jump through. Yeah, I don't think I can get up there as Knuckles. Unless... let's try something. Slow down. Up! No, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. We'll have to come back here as Super Tails. Aww! Well, I don't think you really need to see Knuckles in Act 3, do you? Hey there, thanks for watching my video. If you liked it enough, maybe you could consider subscribing to my channel. I've got a lot of videos coming up in the future and like literally 10 years worth of stuff in my archive. If you'd like to hear me talk more about making games, you can also check out my Tumblr blog, where lots of users ask me questions about lots of different topics. And if you really like what I'm saying, you can even support me and my content on Patreon. For just $1 or $2 a month, you get exclusive access to podcasts, original games I've created, and even secret videos. A big shout out to all my current Patreon supporters, like Rose, Christopher, Ryan L, Keith, Ryan M, Anders, Matt, Tom B, Thomas, Connor, Setsune, Nolan, Dave, Brandon, and Logan. If you'd like to be one of those supporters, just head on down to patreon.com/blazehedgehog. Patreon funds help me buy new equipment and make everything I do for you guys even better. Once again, just visit patreon.com/blazehedgehog to show your support. And once again, thank you very much for watching.